People got these questions, but kid things just don't make sense to me. That part.
Ugh.
I don't get that part.
Try to get some answers. I have to go and interview one. I just might have to.
Inquiring minds want to know.
I don't want to make it a thing though. And like, oh, that sounded like something.
Sounding like what?
Oh, peace, love and light to the family. Welcome back to another episode. Um, let's call it Trending Topic Tuesday. All right. Peace, greetings, peace, love, and cosmic darkness. Happy belated born day to our brother Bobby Hemmett. Okay. Peace. Yeah, what's good with y'all? Peace to the family. All right. You tell me what we here talking about today. Drop a topic on me and I can take off. Rest in peace to take off. It's almost gonna be a month. You feel me? It's almost gonna be a month. And it's been a minute since I tapped in, taking your bladder Moss and Sabi Sabbath. Salute. Shout out to Bladder Moss. Talking about the straw man. What's straw man? Oh, the trust. Shout out to Red Pill. Shout out to my brother Angel. They'll be actually doing a Facts Initiative live tomorrow about trust. About the trust. You feel me? Volcano eruption. Very significant. You know what I'm saying? As my wife loves to speak about Pele. Right? Pele is kicking again. After all, Pele is kicking. This the World Cup. Pele, the soccer player, comes from Brazil. Right? So, yes, you can take gold water while you're pregnant. Mm-hmm. Don't take silver, but you can take gold water. So if you notice, and I think that we can do a Google search and kind of compare and contrast, but every time around World Cup time, when the whole world is congregating around a particular festivities, it's like some volcanoes always acting up or erupting. Right? What I think about the 50,000-year-old virus they just defrost, I have a tendency, if I didn't do a lot of research myself into what they say or what they're saying, on record about C-19, I have a tendency to believe the C-19 was a result of bacteria that was freed up from melted ice and glaciers. Because what they don't speak about is the blob that's going around the world in the ocean system that kind of was created or supported by Fukushima, right? So it's been 11 years since Fukushima. Fukushima happened on March 11th, 2011, I believe. So it's been 11 years since radiation has been leaking into the ocean and melting or warming up the ocean and making, colder climates like the Antarctica and all of that stuff. All of those things have already been melting because of this radiation that has been leaking in the ocean. And on top of that radiation leaking in the ocean, you also had the burning of the Amazon forest by Bolsonaro in 2019. So when you look at the combination of both factors, right, the melting of glaciers, the raising of the water seabed level, right, because of the melting of the glaciers and the addition of all of this new quote unquote melted water in the ocean, cold water, now in warmer waters, all of these things are going to offset ecological systems. And then you bring in the Amazon forest, right? You bring in the desecration of the lungs of planet Earth. That's what the Amazon served as. And you know, like I got nose hairs. I always be cutting my nose hairs, so my nose hairs be growing and stuff. That's what the trees do. The trees are like, you know how you have the hairs in your lung, and the hairs in your lung prevent, like I'm about to smoke, right? And I'll give you a good example. The smoke and the pathogens or the carcinogens from the smoke, your lungs is able to filter those harmful pathogens or carcinogens and all of the rest of that stuff out. And it's the same thing with your nose. Your nose is able to filter certain dirt getting into your into your orifice. Your orifice means any opening of your body. So the nostrils are
Easy.
so what?
Easy.
Easy. The orifice is your nostrils. It's an opening in your body. And if you didn't have nose hairs, right, then all kind of stuff will get into your body, into your potentially into your brain. That's what the Amazon served as for the lungs of the planet. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so you're looking at the ocean becoming deoxygenated, right? You're looking at it warming up. You're looking at the forests is burning. You're looking at all of because wind travels on jet streams, right? Jet Gulf streams or Gulf jet streams or whatever that is. And when that becomes interrupted, or you no longer have those filters, then all sorts of things can, make their way. You feel me? So that's what we're looking at. Unprecedented amount of pathogens having free reign and free travel, right, across the entire planet's circular jet streams. Eric Adams just gave the okay to put the homeless in mental hospitals without the NYPD needing any permission. Okay. That's a touchy topic. Feel me? That's a very touchy topic. If you live in New York, if you've been to New York, if you're a resident of New York, you know that there's a mental health issue in New York. There's unprecedented. We've always lived with it. You know what I'm saying? But now it's kind of off the rails. It's Gotham City for real. And, I can't even say yay or nay. Shout out to New York. Shout out to the family out there. You know what I mean? How does these changes in the earth play into the golden age? They're ultimately going to lead to the golden age. They're a direct result of the signaling of the golden age. You know what I'm saying? They had tribes and acts amazing. Better than jail, like here in Atlanta. The mental institutions in New York City are like jail. That's why so many mental health patients live on the streets. Just like the shelters in New York are like jail. That's why so many people who are homeless live in the streets. Right? And you can look at the correlation, about what's taking place in China and how they are implementing a very aggressive police state in China because of C-19 restrictions. You can see that clearly, you know what I'm saying, that it's a militarized police state. New York City is a militarized police state, and it has been that way since September 12th, 2001. You feel me? So it just continuously moves closer and closer to a full-fledged, you know what I'm saying, fascist regime. So it's something that you can make a connection and a correlation to, yes, and be very mindful of the fact that there's something going on out there. There's something that's circulating. You know what I'm saying? In the country, there's something that's circulating. A lot of people are getting sick. You know, and I can't necessarily say that it's C-19. They have the bugs, the flu-like symptoms. There's something new that they're spreading. You know what I'm saying? There's something new that they've been spraying or something. This shit is catching on, and it's in the city. You know, it's in the cities, should I say. And I'm sure that there's going to be a spike and a large increase in people getting sick because a lot of commingling during the quote-unquote holiday weekend. You feel me? So you could expect that. You could expect that there's going to be an uptick in whatever's going on, whatever they call it, whatever this new thing is. It's just going to be a lot more of it. You know what I'm saying? You've been seeing it in the hospitals and the ER. Yeah, it's something here. You know what I mean? I don't quite exactly know what it is or what's causing it. I can only, once again, recommend solutions. And one of the main solutions that we can implement is silver, right? No, good. Let me share this with y'all real quick. It could take your time, but we would just have to be, prepared. You know what I'm saying? As best as we can, be prepared because once again, there's things going on out there that we don't exactly know what's what. You feel me? Can't put a name to it necessarily. We do know that there's something going on, though. You know, you could look outside and open your eyes and come to that conclusion yourself. Where is this thing at? So, you have to be vigilant, stay diligent, be prepared. You feel me? Because that's just, we are in those times. But at the same time, be unapologetically optimistic and know that everything is going to be all right. Everything ultimately is working in your favor. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, you don't have to apologize for your wellness. But if you have to take necessary measures out there to protect yourself, then that's what you need to be doing. Give me 1 second. So, again, as a real-time demonstratable alternative and a solution, I offer to you silver. And silver is what it is, and it's always done what it's advertised to do, which is kill germs, bacteria, and viruses on contact. So I would say to you and anybody else that's listening, if you're going to be out there in the public and you don't know, right, because we can't be accountable for what's going on in our vicinity. We don't know what people is on. We don't know what they're going through. All we know is that we got to traverse and move through the earth. So you got to put your shield on. You got to protect yourself because nobody else is responsible to do that for you. And as you see, people have their own difficulties out here protecting themselves, right? And making sense of this shit. So I wouldn't leave that in anybody else's hands if I were you. Would you go outside on a battlefield without a helmet and a vest and a gat and whatever else that you need, right, during times of war? It's the same thing. And again, we're moving into the winter months, And because as a population, we participate in this death ritual called a quote unquote holiday season, there's always going to be a spike in disease or what they call sickness.
Right. We've used these drugs tremendously in the animals that we raise for food, in agriculture, growing of plants, and this has all driven the evolution of bacteria in very bad directions. We may well not have antibiotics in the future.
Let's talk about some natural, you mentioned that there are alternatives to the not using antibiotics, let's say for viral infections and things of these sorts. What kind of ideas can you give me in
Well, first of all, there are methods that were in use before we had antibiotics.
Right.
There are methods of disinfection. For example, compounds like silver, which is a very effective germicide.
I just hacked my head the other day, see, and I was panicking. And my wife says, no, I have some silver ointment.
So very interesting. So that's an example of
and it healed perfectly.
Right. There also are natural products that increase immune resistance.
Right.
Things like the Chinese herb astragalus, Asian mushrooms. These are non-toxic, and many doctors are not trained in using them.
Yeah. And I think that it should be part of medical school education.
Absolutely.
It should be definitely.
Compounds like silver, which is a very effective germicide.
I just hacked my head the other day, see, and I was panicking, and my wife says, no, I have some silver ointment.
So again, this is not a cheap sales pitch. I'm just telling you that we have been able to protect ourselves and stay ahead of the curve because none of this stuff is new. And once you develop some sort of regimen, you stick with that regimen, especially if that regimen has been rewarding to you in a time like this, where people don't have, or they don't seem to have the answers, but everything that we said has been verified to be truthful. Even though they give you all of those indications when you attempt to send me something to follow, right? They over there capping. Because as we've been saying, silver, right? This bottle of silver right here does all of them things that homie just said that they do. And not only does it kill germs and protect you from viruses, airborne pathogens, and things of that nature, it heals wounds. It heals wounds. And I triple dog dare you to do a Google search and search the medical uses of silver. And you will see how long the medical industry has been using silver, and they still use it to this day. The difference is they're not using monatomic or colloidal silver in its liquid form. They're using sterilized silver in terms of, their different tools and devices that they use and things of that nature, right? But this is a monatomic. This is 1,000,000 times smaller than a colloidal. A colloidal and monatomic, the difference between them are the size of the molecules. You feel me? The size of the molecules. So, whereas a colloidal is this big, right? Once again, I'm going to say this one time, family. This is not colloidal silver, it's monatomic. So if a colloidal is this big, then a monatomic is that big. Okay? It's 1,000,000 times smaller. Molecule size. Colloidal is a nanometer, like the C19 virus. It's nano size. Like a virus. A virus is nano. Right? Hence the fact that they keep saying, this is nano weapon. Okay? So a colloidal is a nano size. A monatomic is an angstrom size, which is 1,000,000 times smaller than a nano. Hence the fact that when people were getting ahead of C19 in 2020 and 2021, they were using monatomic minerals that we provide over at Goldwater because the molecule is small enough to get inside of the cell and do what it needs to do in terms of terminating and eliminating a quote-unquote virus. And I don't know if I'm supposed to say that or not. You feel me? But that's how that go. Monatomic silver, you can get it at Goldwater. It's super duper affordable. You can do a Google search on what's the highest ppms that you find for colloidal or any other silver, right? the smallest you could probably find is about, no, not the highest. I mean, not the highest you're going to find is about 20. Maybe 20. Right? And that's if you go in and get that sovereign silver and everything else. I just seen somebody speak on that. This 400 parts per million. Right? 400 parts per million. That's a lot of silver. And this is concentrated. So you can put a cut on this, right, if you wanted to. And you can make 3 or 4 other bottles of this if you wanted to. But we keep it super strength because we responded in 2022 to C19. And we knew that we needed something that packed a little more of a punch than the regular schmegula, right? My mama gave me that advice. She said, triple up on anything that you're doing. Okay? How much is that bottle? This is like $30 or something on the site on Gold Water. 400 parts per million. That's how tiny these molecules are and how abundant they are because it's concentrated. Okay? So you could do a 1 to 4 cut on this with distilled water and get you some more product. And hustle up if you're an entrepreneur and you know how to do a good flip. If that's what you do, right? But you're gonna need this, right? And just, it just so happens that it's blue. I got all this blue on today, but you're gonna need this when you go outside, right? It kills viruses on contact on the surface, right? And this is how I apply it before I go out. I hit down the throat. I hit up my nostrils and I spray my aura. Right? If I'm touching things, I'll spray the doorknob, or after I turn the doorknob, I'll spray my hands to disinfect them. You can use it internally. You just see me, I hit it down my throat. Yes. Right? Normally we had it as a dropper that you could put in your water and you could drink it internally. But we made it a sprayer, an atomizer, because, we out here in the world and people was moving around and they was dealing with wanting to cleanse the surfaces and the doorknobs of people's handshakes or hugs, things of that nature. You want to get niggas up off of you? Like, come on, fam. We're not doing this. Give me 6 feet. Yeah, so, if they no longer giving you 6 feet, get yourself this so you could get a spray go crazy, right? And disinfect your environment. You feel me? So I heard that speaking about, giving people 6 feet and disinfecting your environment and pushing shit back, I heard that they finally locked up the girl who's responsible for killing, what's her name? Shanquella. Right? Shanquella, may she rise in power and continue to serve as a, when you can extract the life lessons from somebody's life, you feel me? Then that person did not die in vain. Then that person lived to serve, a higher purpose because they're out here teaching. You feel me? So Shanquella, her situation, once again, is really about us reassessing our circles, our ciphers, the people that you call your friends. Her case is the tail end of what we consider the introduction of the energy known as Mars in retro, right? Mars being arguments, fights, friction, about that action, boss. Mars, retrograde, shit from your past, okay? But retrograde is an indicator of Gemini that deals with communication. So avoid getting in arguments due to miscommunication. You feel me? So she died on the 29th. She died the day that Mars in retrograde started. Takeoff died 2 days later. You feel me? So you got the female version and you got the male version. And then you got everything in between. You feel me? You got everything in between. And the universe is telling you to take stock of your cipher, of your circle. That's why I would imagine that this quote-unquote Thanksgiving was so serious and people really wanted to be around their family more than anything, you know what I'm saying, to make a reassessment of family bonds. Like, you know, people be out here talking about how much they don't get along with their family and they got issues with them and they falling out. I really, you know, and I'm not saying that any or everyone is incapable of maintaining healthier relationships with friends than they do family, but I you know what I'm saying, I haven't met too many people, and then, you know, everybody don't got the same story when it comes to their family. Some people really don't rock with their family because their family done violated, you know what I'm saying, but a lot of people don't rock with their family because they're not accepted because of their lifestyle changes, their perspectives, and they go contradictory to whatever their family appears to stand on. Even though, you know, you spend a little bit more time and look behind the curtain, your nana got a shrine and shit. She got an altar in the closet. You know what I'm saying? She know how to do roots and hoodoo and all that. So she's capping. Right? She just can't see it in you, or you remind her of the fear within herself. But keep coming around. Keep coming around. Yeah, zinc and copper is very good. Now let me give you a heads up. There was 2 minerals that they came out after C19 and said that these minerals were successful in trials for killing C19. And the number 1 was copper. Number 2 was silver. Now, copper, silver, and zinc together, those 3, no. Copper, calcium, and silver is the trio. That's the knockout punch. You feel me? Because silver will kill the virus. Zinc will prevent it from reproducing. And the calcium is going to help flush it. You feel me? So you got to remove it. It's like a body. But you got to know how to take those in the proper concentrations, right? And you have to know the protocol application to make that effective, right? Peace, my brother. So nobody said anything about colloidal silver. No disrespect to colloidal, you know? But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about silver, calcium, and zinc. If you could get them in a monatomic form, a crystalloid, right? And you have to apply them a particular way, especially if you have respiratory issues like C19. You need a nebulizer. You got to catch it before it drops to the lungs. So the first 48 hours is everything. Because once you slip past that, you fight in a different fight, in a different, you know, you got to approach it differently. Once it gets into your lungs. You feel me? So yeah, that's it. It's C19, another influenza. Shit, the influencers got influenza. So, let's get into some news. All right, shout out to my brother Red Pill. I see him. He in the building. Right? Yo, let's get into some news. Let's jump this thing off the right way. Hold on. Let's get into some news. Let's get into some news, you say. All right. Let's get into the pillar perspectives, right? And what is the pillar perspective? And why is the pillar perspective so different from the other things that's going on out there? Because we approach the news from a holistic standpoint, from a 360-degree standpoint, right? The fact that we have been doing news for so long, right? The fact that we have been doing the news for so long, we know how to make these connections. We don't see any separation in the news. We know the news is a continuum, right? And you have to find the thread that weaves all of this news together. That's what makes the pillar perspective the most poignant perspective out here, or what we call a high-level observation, right? So let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's start here. Let's start there. Human beings are blind to 99.9997% of the electromagnetic spectrum radiation. Translation, you don't see a motherfucking thing, right? You're talking about a pillar perspective. Let's just take these glasses off and talking about what it is that we're able to observe, our general observation. Feel me? What am I using red on? I don't get it. What you see that was red? Today's Mars. I'm supposed to have on red today, actually. I got all this blue on and I'm out of pocket. So it's funny that you would say something about red. But anyway, observation. Yes, electromagnetic spectrum, radiation. That's the red part. UV, right? Because the light spectrum is separated by blue and red, or red and blue. You feel me? From blue to red, right? And everything in between. But we only are seeing 0.3% of the visible spectrum of things that's available for us to see. So there's a spirit realm that exists right around us that we cannot conceive. There's all kind of shit going on around that we cannot pick up. Why? Because we only can pick up 0.3% of the visible spectrum of what's available for us to see, right? And we think that we deep. Hence is the conundrum of the human. Animals be looking at you niggas like you crazy. Like, come on, son. You can't be serious. Look, I gotta do this. I have to play the master teacher real quick.
Now, in order to unlock your magic, you got to become a child. That means in your mind, you got to become innocent. Humility is the key. Not to people, not to God, but to your soul. When you become humble to your soul, then your soul will open up. Your own soul. That is the God. If we say it over and over, look for no other God to save you but yourself. Whatever it is spiritual you find out you can be doing, you need to be doing it at this particular time. Even if it's studying, help set up an office. If you're low on that cash, there's a whole group of sisters, and they got houses and all kind of shit, and they ain't really got no jobs to this day. So straight out of the project, got her house, a big nice house, and they really ain't got no job, and it's some magic shit. You know what I'm saying? They did it through masturbation, especially the woman, because you open up force fields. That's why they say you need to get into something while you're down here, so when you go to the next realm, you can have a lofty height. In order to unlock your magic, you got to become a child. That means in your mind, you got to become innocent. Humility is the key. Not to people, not to God, but to your soul. When you become humble to your soul, then your soul will open up. Your own soul. That is the God. If we say it over and over, look for no other God to save you but yourself. Whatever it is spiritual you find out you can be doing, you need to be doing it at this particular time. Even if it's studying, help set up an office. If you're low on that cash, there's a whole group of sisters, and they got houses and all kind of shit, and they ain't really got no jobs to this day. So straight out of the project, got her house, a big nice house, and they really ain't got no job, and it's some magic shit. You know what I'm saying? They did it through masturbation, especially the woman, because you open up force fields.
Force fields. Right? Shout out to my brother Bobby. His born day was yesterday. Okay? And when we talking about the visible spectrum, we talking about things that are available for us to see, right? And the fact that what makes you think that you so hot shit? You got access to 0.3% of information, and you only acknowledge like 0.3% of that. Because it's stuff that the universe is giving. They showing you in real time all of the compare and contrast that you need to feel as dualistic as necessary. Okay? So, less than a month ago, right? Motherfuckers was treating Kanye like he lost their money. Damn, Ye. What the fuck, man? You lost $2 billion in one day, you bum ass nigga. You only worth $400 million. You fucking failure. You washed up, nigga. You washed up. You doofus. You should have shut up. Right? That's how they was on Ye's helmet. Pause. Less than a month ago. Because he stood on principle and he got hit in the pockets by the economic hitmen. That's what they do. But I don't hear no comparison. I don't hear no outcry. I don't see no memes. Right? Niggas ain't going brazy on Sam Bankman-Fried, who was worth $26 billion at one point. Right? $20 billion, $26 billion. And now he said that he's down to 100,000. Why they not clowning him? Since niggas love counting your pockets, right? Niggas love counting your pockets. We got something for them too. Niggas love counting pockets. But when it comes to people who don't necessarily look like them, we ain't gonna go there. When it comes to people who don't look like them, no, you feel me? Then everybody is singing a different tune. Everybody got something different to say, and they come up and they making excuses. I have yet to see the media call this gooish, right? This gooish kid, because now they calling him a kid. They like, he's just a kid. Can't blame him, right? He was naive. He's just a kid. You feel me? He said, they asked him how much bread do he got in his account. He said, am I allowed to say a negative number? I mean, I have no idea. I don't know. I had 100 racks in my bank account last time I checked. It's complicated. Basically, everything I had was tied up in the company, right? His personal wealth at one point reached $26.5 billion, right? Yeah, he was able to amass $26 billion, but they still call him a kid, right? Is that child's play? You feel me? Or was he playing games like a child all along with people's money, and he has the ability of visibility, right? Because of his caucasity has afforded him, right, this invisible cloak where you're not supposed to see what he does or comment on it, right? What Dave Chappelle said, right? You could see something, but don't say nothing. So this dude is straight up being so irresponsible with OPM, with other people's money. Now $26 billion of it is gone, right? That he equates to his own personal wealth, but nobody's calling him to the carpet. You know what I'm saying? Where's the prosecution? You know, none of these things are we seeing manifest itself, right? And we know that a lot of it is largely tied into the fact that he was the main political donor initially for the Democrats. And before him, the main Democratic donor for the Democrats was Harvey Weinstein. And before him, it was Harvey Epstein. So you have three gooish kids, boys, children, right, who was so fiscally irresponsible, morally irresponsible, spiritually bankrupt, that this same man who tells you that he's running for the office of America, battling for the soul of America, you know what I'm saying? Right? These people that are telling you this at the same time are participated in spirit cooking, right? And Lord knows what else. And you refuse to see this shit for what it is. But if a nigga got dirt underneath his fingernails, you ready to cancel him. Oh, son, cleanliness is the next thing to godliness. So, I had paused the video at 0:47 seconds and I seen that you had dirt under your nails. So, presumably, being that you're no longer on your path, I'm going to cancel you and then I'm going to expose you and shit and make mad, scam pages, telling everybody don't fuck with you. Because how could you making food and herbs and shit and you got a little bit of dirt under your nail? You so unsanitary, man. You feel me? Did I think that you're going to have to die, be reborn, and come back again and try this shit? Because, I just can't see myself fucking with you no more, supporting you. You niggas is frauds. Damn, son. That was like a whole motherfucking condemnation of a nigga's lifeline and legacy just because they had some motherfucking dirt underneath their nails. I'm like, nigga, chill. Yeah, that's all it takes. Right? That's all it takes. And niggas will want to motherfucker unpack your entire empire. But these niggas, I seen this nigga right here, butterball ass naked, and I can't forget it. And I wish I could get my memory scrubbed to this shit. Whipping a young melanated lady like she was tied up like she was a slave. This nigga's son smoking crack. And that laptop connects them to the Podesta emails, which ultimately connects him to Isagate. I can't even say the word no more because, once again, y'all failed to remember nobody was doing the homework. This is what started the censorship campaign on the internet. Okay? When the Podesta emails came out and they showed you the Democrats was spirit cooking and they was into baby sacrifice and all of the other shit that people think is a conspiracy at this point. Like everything else that they have been, and the long duration proven to be wrong, this one y'all can't stomach because your entire semblance, the lie that you're telling yourself, is contingent upon you not wanting to know the truth about the people that you fuck with and you aspire to, right? And you use words in your vocabulary like leadership. You cannot come to grips with the real shit that's going on in the world, right? That's how the motherfucking devil has faked you out to the degree where you believe that he don't exist. And these niggas is running rings around the population, doing the most. And every time they tail show, every time they fang show, every time they horn show in public, here come the distractions. You feel me? Here come the distractions. So Son said he's about to reveal the inner dialogue, right? Because, of course, prior to him coming to Twitter, it was more so a leftist, liberal-leaning platform. And these people cape for the Democrats. And the people who cape for the Democrats have been doing a lot of cleanups on aisle number 9 because these niggas' information is spilling all over the place. And if you are willing to do the necessary diligent research or sit still long enough where you could comprehend how this part fits into that part, you're like, oh shit. Right? These niggas is full-fledged motherfucking demons. And it's coming out. And everybody seems to be scrambling. Right? And they want to disguise it as politics. They want to do the most. Right? But what they don't want to do is tell the truth about what the fuck is going on. So look at this.
Here we are at the March thing, and there's an entire closet full of secret closet of hashtag woke, the t-shirts.
So once
hashtag
again,
woke, the t-shirts.
Once again, I gotta cue my own shit up. This is how it go. I gotta cue my own.
Here we are.
I gotta cue my own shit up, and it's cool. My laptop. Can you pass that back, baby? It's cool. I gotta cue my own shit up to remind you that a pillar perspective is about seeing things either into the future or seeing connections where they don't visibly exist, right? Seeing shit that's invisible, utilizing a different aspect of sight or observation to bear witness to things that are not yet visible to the visible spectrum, right? So what the fuck am I talking about? I continuously tell you that this political theater, especially going forward into 24, is all going to be about woke, right? Which is them gaslighting, or what do they call it? Soft shoe stepping to consciousness, right? Who they really got a beef with. Because they want to know who's exposing this information. They want to know who cares enough about this information to care enough about this information. You feel me? And they want to know how they could shut that shit down because everybody's threatened. Right? Everybody's threatened. Intimidated by the truth coming out. Right? No one can afford for this truth to hit the way that it's hitting because it will unravel everything. Right? And then once the motherfucking shit come off, then everyone in every country got to ask themselves questions. They like, damn, if these niggas was really beefing together, how these niggas is in basements drinking blood together? Like, these countries don't got no beef for real. It's all a ruse, right? And it goes all the way up to the top, and you know where the top go. You know where the top go. I ain't gonna. You know where the top is. You feel me? So there's a lot going on in global politics right now where the covers seem to be just flying off. You know, and everybody seems to be getting this work to some degree or another. But you gotta know what you're looking at in order to see what you're looking at. You know. So that's why we have taken some time out to really focus on building out a media apparatus. This particular media apparatus is one that everybody will be proud of. And we can stand on it, you know what I'm saying, as something that we're proud of as well. It would be the manifestation of a long dream finally coming true, you know, to provide the level of programming that this community deserves, especially for the type of information that we harness, you know, that we curate in this community. We owe it to ourselves, you know what I'm saying? We owe it to ourselves to know what this information is hitting for, and it just deserves more. It deserves more attention. It deserves more production, you know, a better look. You know what I'm saying? It deserves to give what is given. So we're going to give that. You know, and I want to thank the family right here on IG who have tapped in to these lives. You guys have invigorated, you know, my love for disseminating the news, you know, and even though this style right here is something that I really like because it's like on the go, it's freestyle, it's real time, it's improv, you know, although I really appreciate this style and this format, you know what I mean, I'm going to be doing something a lot more structured. You feel me? So we bring in something I can't speak on every aspect of it, you know, in the moment, in real time. What happened? Okay. So you know, I'm gonna follow up when the time is right. But yeah, so this aspect of it, right? Former NFL QB claims Aaron Rodgers, right, was pushing 9/11 conspiracy theories. You feel me? Why are they concerned with 9/11 conspiracy theories? You feel me? Why are they continuously attempting to criminalize Aaron Rodgers? One, because he took ayahuasca and he is promoting something that rivals Western medicine, right? And he comes from Green Bay, like Wisconsin. Can't nobody be more cracker than Aaron Rodgers, right? So why are they so focused on people who are pushing woke tropes, right? Quote unquote woke tropes. This is the campaign they have been waging since 9/11 when they went on the manhunt for quote unquote consciousness. As a direct result to consciousness, they can tell you what they want. Yeah, and he was anti-jab. So, you know, you have to understand the quagmire that Twitter represents, right? Caught between a political firestorm of neocon conservative Republicans, right? Neocon conservative Republicans who more so are what you consider to be the religious zealots, the evangelicals, the people who are uber religious, but uber religious to the degree where that extreme, if you go far enough, you see them doing everything anti-religious. That's what uber religious, right? Jimmy Falwell and shit like that. Right? Not no real love for Christ, the cover of Christ. All of these people are operating under the cover of Christ to do devilishment. Okay? It's real motherfucking sufficient. You know, it's real convenient when you can wave a cross and everybody gets passive and it lets their guard down and you got a fucking bazooka behind your back. Right? So that's coming under the cover of Christ. So evangelicals come under the cover of Christ as well. And they're anti-woke, right? Because what does woke do? They're saying woke is critical race theory. They're saying woke is, you know, the jab is bad. They're saying woke is Hunter Biden's laptop. They're saying woke is Isagate. They're saying woke is, oh, yeah, these niggas is out here fucking children. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. And kidnapping women and organ harvesting. And them babies in Haiti. And the Vatican girl. And X, Y, and Z. Everything that they got documented proof about and receipts for. They call that woke, right? Because they want to criminalize woke. They're going to have a global movement. A unified, one world, one force. Global movement against what you consider or what they call quote unquote woke. And they're going to beat these niggas to a pulp. Like how they did Nick Cannon and Kyrie and them. And it's no longer an apology tour. It's going to be take me to your leader, right? We not letting you niggas off the hook until you point us out a conscious nigga, not a woke nigga. Right? The woke niggas is the buffer zone. They're the ones that hold the secrets as to where the resistance is really at. John Connor are them niggas who live under the bridge or under the road or under the fucking ground. Underground. Right? Woke is the first floor. That shit, woke is like, you know, when you come into the first floor or something, but there's a whole building on top of it, but them niggas really is gathered in the basement. That's woke. Woke is the greeting when you get on the first floor. But that's not where the real shit is going on. That's woke. You in the building, but you on the first floor for reception. Y'all not in the basement where the rituals is taking place. That ain't y'all. You feel me? And the niggas above you is the motherfuckers, you know, they got shit going on in the penthouse. You ain't make it up there either. Yeah, Demolition Man. All that shit. So they putting the dragnet out. You know what I'm saying? So what Elon is saying that he's doing as a disruptor is he's coming into these woke thresholds or these woke encampments, and he's upending the places where the bodies was buried. Because through the mechanism of media, liberal media, Jewish media.
Thing, and there's an entire closet full of secret closet of hashtag woke t-shirts. Hashtag woke t-shirts.
Right? So here's the quagmire though. You feel me?
Here we are at the merch thing, and there's an entire closet full of.
So he would have you believe once again that he's causing a major disruption, right? Because again, he's the through line. One side of his body is part of the neocon aspect. The other side of his body is part of the liberal, leftist. You feel me? He has different allegiances. He's the man in the middle. You feel me? That represents this oddity. Because you don't know whose team this nigga's on. Right? He just wants to be a disruptor. But the nigga really moves like he's a 4chan child. Like he's a kid on 4chan. That's how this nigga moves. Right? And he's on the spectrum. So once again, he gets a pass for that. Right? He could fuck up. The nigga lost, they said, $500 billion goddamn near. These billionaires have lost collectively. He lost like 100 billion of his own. Or what they say his own, that means stock options. That means that his companies have been affected. That means that people who've been holding the stocks have been affected. That means the fact that they had to lay off all of them goddamn employees is effective. Yes, he's the plug because he has military contracts. So he's in bed with DC and the libs, right? And the Gooish, mafia and whatever else they represent, because he's the one that they got to go to space. Nigga, that's a Nazi-run organization. It's funny, a Nazi-Gooish-run organization. Gooish Nazis. God damn. Gooish Nazis. Zionists. Who the fuck? Yeah, South African. Well, who populated South Africa? Right? So he got military contracts. Hence the fact they just put the top secret military missile or rocket into the atmosphere on November 1st, the day that takeoff got. It's called USSFF-44, right? The $44 billion guy himself is launching top secret Pentagon approved military operation rockets. So he got a security clearance that's unreal. Look how this nigga's operating. Just like the other kid last year that was in office for 4 years. You like, these niggas cannot be grown folks, but they get a pass every single time because all they gotta be is white. Right? You want to talk about privilege? Right? These niggas can be as childlike, and that wasn't the shit that Bobby was talking about. But these niggas could be as childlike as they want to. Yeah, maybe, okay, so we jealous because we can't be grown folk childlike the same way. We'll lose our fucking life and everything that we work for. And these niggas get to play like they at home on Madden all day. So, he said the Twitter files on free speech suppression soon to be published on Twitter itself. The public deserves to know what really happened. So he's destroying his company from within. He's destroying the allegiances that people in his country and his company have formed with other countries, other administrations, and political parties. He's telling on the people who he needs to watch his back. Who is this nigga? What does he hope to achieve? He's an operative of what country? Because it was funny when Trump was going ape shit and they kept saying he was an operative of Russia. Who's this nigga operative of? Because he's talking about wanting not to destroy free press and what have you. But symbolically, if you're destroying Twitter, you're destroying free press. Right? But this nigga's laptop shows this nigga engaging in activity that's unpresidential. Right? I saw the footage, which I acting like y'all ain't see the footage. Come on now. So it's unprecedented mind fucks that are going on right now. You know what I'm saying? Unprecedented mind fucks. Right? Like this dude, he got a free pass, a free reign to be as childlike. There are people on the planet that are showing you that they have free license to be as childlike and as maniacal, not just regular children. We're talking about the psychopath child, the nigga who was killing the birds with the sticks, right? The nigga who was lining the cats up to get run over and shit like that and then playing with his intestines. You feel me? You talking about like that childlike behavior, a child with no concept whatsoever of repercussions, right? So this is the crown ruler now of Saudi Arabia, and he got it Godfather style. He locked all of them niggas up in a hotel, beat the fuck out of his opposition, killed the niggas who wasn't fucking with him, right? And laid the law down. He put that thing all the way up in him. Pause. Okay? So he could sit them down. This is domination tactics and techniques. Like, this is how these niggas go to war. Right? This is politics is warfare the same way. And they can't do nothing with him because he's Saudi and everybody's exploiting other people's weaknesses right now. You can't do nothing. Like how Ye tried that shit. Right? He wasn't well baked yet enough. This nigga does not seem to know what the fuck is going on around him. He just seems, I think he's just taking lead from seeing other people get their shit off. And he think that he can follow suit. And they like, nah, nigga, but I got my status corrected or something like that. Or I know about DeFi banking. This nigga don't know about nothing. He said that the IRS hit him with a $75 million lien. Why do you still got your money in that bank, gang? Like, come on, bro. He's just getting washed up from every which fucking angle for making some of the worst plays ever. Some of the worst plays ever, bro. He just looks goofy out here. Right? So, they grabbed his bread again. 75 million, allegedly. You know what I mean? They said the nigga was eating at a like a ramen noodle stop in the alley in LA. This nigga, I mean, and he's already a couch surfer. You know what I'm saying? And he represents the conundrum because this nigga is dazed and confused. He's running around with neocons because his Christianity ties him to white Jesus. And again, that's the pillar perspective. That was my observation from the beginning. After October 3rd, when I'm like, look, this nigga got Pope John Paul II on the front of that White Lives Matter shirt, and that went over y'all head. And that was a 30-year anniversary to the day of when Sinead O'Connor tore the picture up. So I'm like, nigga, if you're not promoting that protest, then you're out of fucking league because she did more for melanated people than your bitch ass did by standing up saying George Bush don't care about black people. Sinead O'Connor put on multiple times, put her career on the fucking line for causes that was dear to the heart of melanated America, whether they knew it or not. She wasn't looking for the fanfare. She was in full protest. And this nigga went behind her and did that crap shit. And then I watched a documentary the other day called Vatican Girl. Right? Once again, why are people acting so surprised about child predators and child abuse? Right? Because we have not had this conversation as a society. But if I meet 9 out of 10 people that have been abused, why are you not willing to have this conversation? Is it something that reminds you of something that you're uncomfortable with? You want to ignore it? What are you doing in terms of safety measures to make sure that your children are safe if you're no longer here? You leaving them to a world like this where you choose that your fact that you're going to fucking ignore this because you got a job that you got to report to tomorrow. You think that this don't got nothing to do with you. You think that, the blatant signs that's being shown to you, you choose to ignore these shits. The whole fucking industry went quiet about Balenciaga. The whole industry. Nobody jumped out. It was like this is an abomination. Nobody compounded the conversation to say, oh, we already had this. That's a no-no. And we had that. That's a no-no. This is the last straw. No, they keep compartmentalizing these conversations. And then they want to throw you off by saying, oh, like when niggas cancel Gucci. No, that was for blackface, nigga. This is something different. You feel me? This is something different. And once again, let me get right back to it. I'll give you another pillar perspective. Because then we're going to get into... I've been speaking about what? I said, look, even though right? Even though we see this shit playing out the way that it's playing, right? And people choose, because it's a choice. If you choose to be silent on it, it's a choice, right? But again, this choice, once again, leads to a place that's so uncomfortable that people do not want to have this conversation. They do not want to have this observation. They want to close their eyes, right? And attempt to ignore the shit that they're seeing that's on the forefront. So I said, look, if you are a major artist, you get one opportunity to be like, oh, my stylist put me in that Baphomet. Let's take Beyonce, case in point. And I'm not coming down on Beyonce and her decisions to express her love and her allegiance to Baphomet. I'm just saying, if your stylist did it to you one time as a good Christian woman, you should make sure, especially if your reputation and your faith and the fact that you're what she call herself, a church girl in that song? If you were a church girl representing your nana and your mama and them, you going to make sure, damn, I got caught up one time. The ghoulish folks is not going to catch me up again. The witches and the warlocks, because none of these niggas ever came out and was like, yeah, they got witches and warlocks in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? I just got my motherfucking rosary tight and my crucifix, and I got to keep my holy water on them. Ain't none of them tell you how to move through a room full of vultures for real. So you have not even been honest enough to tell us that you were around witches and warlocks, let alone that you didn't know what this stylist was putting on you. So she put you on a Baphomet once. But if you was on a Baphomet 3 times, if you was associated with iconography, right, of Luciferian worship to some degree or another, and again, whatever you do, that's what floats your boat. That's cool. But when this shit gets to the children, yo, at least we should be warriors enough to have our fucking eyes open, because you better be ready to protect your progeny. You know what I'm saying? Because if not, what the fuck is you here for? If you're not about propagating your species into the next and protecting them where they ain't got to go through none of the shit that you went through. So you get one time to say you got duped, right? Let's say it happened to you 2 times. Yeah, you know, I just show up and do whatever I say because, you know, that's the nature of my contract. And, you know what I'm saying? I really don't own my image. So they just show me, they tell me when to show up and they tell me when to show out, and I go home and I get my check in the mail. Granted. But you would allow yourself how many times to be used by these stylists and these video directors? You feel me? How does that not become part of your brand that you stand on, right? Peace. I hope you're doing better. Tiff, I'm gonna holler at you. Appreciate you. Right? How does that not become something that you are diligent about to make sure that it don't happen again? You should be bringing your pastor with you to every Jamal Bryant should get flown out to every motherfucking video shoot. If that's the case, if these children openly said that they on demon time, where's the goddamn Christian coalition to say, oh, you know, Marcus was, you know, Jeffrey was the band leader. What do you mean his name is Young Thug now and he has on black nail polish and lipstick? Right? What happened to we need an intervention? That shit used to happen if you asked 3 questions in church, my nigga. If you came with motherfucking locks in your hair, we need an intervention. We need an intervention. Right? They triangulate you and bring your nana into it and all of that. Start bringing up folks as dead. All kind of shit. And the interventions. These babies said that they on demon time. And Christianity said we ain't under attack yet. But the neocons are going to utilize this information of people asking questions and waking up and opening their eyes to say, look, we got to ride against quote unquote woke, because they both got something to hide. They both got something to hide, right? So that's that bullshit. So when they go to Balenciaga, though, right? When they go to Balenciaga and they start exposing the stylist, the photographer, and the entire fucking company, point blank period, as being complicit with child pornography, my thing is like this, right? I remember Isagate when it happened and all of the information that came out after that. Which one of them are not down with it? You can't be part of the gang if you not down, nigga. Y'all didn't see the cabal and the rest. Y'all ain't see all of this. All of this time, y'all ain't see all of this shit, huh? That's what you're telling me. That this is a surprise to you. That the weirdest shit ever takes place in fashion. This is where they put grown fucking men in high heels and purses. But you're never questioning what's going on behind the curtain, right? But a nigga come out with a bra on, but you never question what's going on behind the fucking curtain. This is why humanity is in danger. This is why they're talking about the 6th and the 7th extinction, because it's not enough. You're not going to cut the muster by just motherfucking being comfortable by saying, I only got access to 0.3% of the visible motherfucking spectrum. And you think that that's going to cut it? You out here being blind to this shit? You in denial? And we not taking the opportunity to get the fuck away from these people and protect these babies? What you think this shit gonna change? Huh? Because it's like, even tomorrow, if they come out and tell you the truth, my nigga, what you gonna do? We into all of that shit. This is not a Christian country. This is a satanic country. And we into blood rituals and bloodletting. You know what I'm saying? And protect your neck, nigga. And we outside. Yeah. What's up? What's good? What's up? Nothing. Nothing is up. Niggas don't got no fucking rebuttal. It's too late. You're going to jump into magic so late. How I'm going to protect myself against this shit? You talking about people who don't miss the opportunities to come together on bullshit, to reinforce and magnify it. So when they do got to throw something your way, this shit is supported by a whole fucking community of witches and warlocks. To resurrect, you must fall. Bobby Hemmett, prophet and poet, man. Let's stop denying people their greatness and their excellence and the well-deserved flowers. Bobby Hemmett is a prophet of our times. I could show you so many examples, specifically from lectures from 20 years ago, where he's speaking like he is standing in 2022 making high-level observations, crystallizing his consciousness and making uploads. So I be so motherfucking upset with the people because I'm like, yo, what about this shit tastes so good to you that you got to come back for seconds and thirds every single time? What about it? At this point, like, my nigga, so we can help change your palate preference. What about this shit is so beautiful and shiny that you got to keep going and giving it blood and pledging allegiance to it and renewing your fucking lease? What about it? What about it makes you choose slavery every day that you get up? What about it? I want to know. I want to know what type of trauma porn is niggas into where they're fucking just volunteering themselves for this shit. So, yeah, a brother like Bobby prepared us, as crazy as that shit sounded 20 years ago, right? I held a semblance of faith within me that I was like, well, if niggas could do it in church, let me try this shit out, because I ain't grow up in church. So I'm going to just have faith in this. And let me see where this shit takes me. And This God is my witness. This nigga never lied. Like, yeah, he contradicted himself, right? But we're chaos beings, you know. That's what we do. We're contradictions of ourselves. You know, go find you some, matter of fact. Go find you some contradictions. You know? So, he ain't done nothing wrong in my eyes. Like, he was a prophet. He prophesied these times, and he gave the tools, you know, the means through which we can navigate through chaos, you know, with a smile on our face and still be lighthearted. You know, that's really giving when you don't lose yourself in the midst of this shit. You know, and my anger and my aggression is towards the people who I love that's still mystified by this shit. It's like, you still caught up in this? Like, you still wishing on a star? What are you waiting on? You feel me? What are you waiting on? For real. Like, pull the plug on this shit. So we can create a new contract and establish a new covenant. And when you establish a new covenant, the old one falls away. It's niggas is still holding on to the covenant. No matter how fractured, bankrupt, satanic it looks. Like, they like, shit, this is all we got. So it says people with a weak future time perspective, right? Hold on, let me read this shit specifically. Because this all speaks to our psyche, you know, and how we've been primed as a people to just accept failure and it's like we're being culled for something else. Pencil to the paper. Yeah, so, you know, my answer, my contribution, what I can do to say, yo, this will make a difference, you know what I'm saying, rather than just talking that talk, is media, you know, media. A very powerful, forceful move, you know, into establishing ourselves as accredited, credible media, bar none. Bar none. You know what I'm saying? Bar none. That no one has ever done what we're about to do. Nobody's doing what we're doing. And it could never be done again. So that's coming. It's on the way. And I'm putting a lot of energy and life force into it. But I feel so gratified because I'm at home. Like, this is where I started. I started in journalism literally 21 years ago. Four Corners hip hop newspaper. Shout out to JP and everybody affiliated, Black Dot, everybody. Four Corners. But yeah, the timing is right. Right? We have to move. Gotta move with the news. We have to control our own narrative. You already seen what they got in store for you. They already telling you, nigga, here's what we think about you. What you think they about to feed you or tell you. If they like, nigga, they like, you not a black Egyptian. You not a black Jew. You not a black Christian, right? You not a black Muslim. And then y'all telling yourself y'all not African, so they ain't even got to get around to that. You know what I'm saying? They like, you not a black Indian. They taking chimpanzees from you niggas. They like, you not even a chimp. Y'all ain't even come from them. That's our ancestors. Good luck with finding who your motherfucking common thread. They about to switch to the Anunnaki shit and be talking about y'all came here to mine gold. And they created y'all in the lab with Inky and Enlil and them niggas. They about to give you that and you about to fall for it. Fuck out of here. That's what they about to hit you with. The study was based on a temporal theory, which suggested people are more likely to engage in goal-oriented behavior when they have a strong future time perspective. This means that they believe that their future selves will be better off as a result of their present actions. Individuals with a weak future time perspective, on the other hand, are less likely to engage in goal-oriented behavior. They may be more likely to procrastinate or give up on their goals when faced with difficulties. And this is what the fuck they're doing to us right now by telling you, nigga, you don't have a past. How could you possibly have a future? And niggas is falling for that shit. And they like, look, fuck it. While I'm here and I'm not ever going to make it to the future or make it to space, I might as well buy these moon shoes right now. Let me go give Balenciaga $700 fucking dollars. Because I ain't going to make it to the moon. I ain't gonna make it to the future, so let me just put this future shit on now and listen to Future. Because I ain't gonna make it to the future. Let me drink some lean because this shit is so depressing that I just need to numb myself on every fucking chance that I get. Ugly ass shoes. Yeah, they mix orthodontic shoes with Steve Madden platforms with some other shits, right? Like, them is the shit that you make in the programs for 3D printing or some shit like that. And then niggas paid $800 and they knew that they had, what the Balenciagas was when they knew that they had niggas. So if they was fucking you then, right? And they went to the extent to fuck you then, they was putting out trash bags and calling that fashion. They was fucking, they're fucking you. They're fucking with your consciousness. They're bending over your concepts of self-worth and value, right? You will go and pay these people to put a garbage bag on you because you consider it designer. They know that they got you. You're branded. You're a black brand who's dealing with brand damage, whose brand is in the toilet. But you will wear another brand who got a garbage bag on it to make yourself feel fucking better about yourself. That's how less you feel that your life matters. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. You feel me? We better wake the fuck up. Yeah, they look like Skechers. That's what I was thinking about. Shits look like Skechers and orthodontic shoes. And them shits that Yeezy made was ugly too. He started a whole lot of ugly shit. And he introduced us to these ugly ass people with this ugly ass energy. And if he's so denuded, if he's so unaware of his circumstances and his surroundings that he don't know that he's around Satanists, why are we still listening to anything that this nigga got to say? Why he's hanging out with neocons? Once again, because this nigga believes that Jesus is white. Man, let these people go. You clogging up your neocortex and fucking up your consciousness. Fucking with these people, yo. Scrap Balenciaga campaign featured such and such painter whose works, featured books from a painter whose works had castrated toddlers. Castrated toddlers. Once again, I'm not going to raise my voice because we was already here in 2016 raising our voice. And then we got our voice censored. And margin, nigga, they just started telling people that they could follow me last week. I've been censored since 2016. I ain't just start getting censored with C19. And then the crazy part is that he's the one who blew the whistle the first time. The moment in the Matrix, Sacramento, he was on the St. Pablo tour. When he started talking crazy about Hillary and Jay-Z and them, what you think he was talking about? What you think he was talking about? Can Can we revisit that moment? Wait a minute. Let's go. Oh. Let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go back. Because y'all don't seem to remember. I'll give you a pillar perspective. Let's go back. 2016. I believe it was in October. Or might have been November. Right? He was on tour in Sacramento. In the Pablo tour. Okay? He went and had a rant on stage about Hillary, the Democrats, and Jay-Z and Beyonce. He said that they can't stop me from, I'm about to tell the truth. He said they're going to get me killed November, okay? Because he got renditioned the next day by his trainer, the same one who's in the media now, saying that, nigga, I'm gonna rendition you again. His trainer, more than likely, works for the ghoulish secret intelligence like Mossad, but the Canadian version I'm hearing, right? So every resident and citizen of Israel has to go to the military when they're 18. So all of them are recruited into some form or another of military. They're all military intelligence to a degree. Once military, always military. Do you not understand this concept? Right? Do you not understand this concept? So he called them up. They hit him with what's called elephant juice. If anybody lived in New York City and Brooklyn in particular, you knew what was going on in the G building. Right? They hit him with the elephant juice, the same shit that you get hit with in the G building. Right? Evidence, his face came out swollen and leaning to the side. And he came out with platinum hair with pink on top, which is one of those MK Ultra signals. So he got renditioned. They put him back under, and then the nigga went to meet Trump, right? He went to meet Trump at Trump Plaza with Jim Brown during the Gemini supermoon. And it had to be in December. Of course, Gemini supermoon coincides directly with Sagittarius, right? Remember? And he ain't never been the same since. But before he went and met with Trump, he came out and met with Rick Owens. And what's the nigga's name? What's the wife's name? Shalel Lammy? Michelle Lammy. The motherfucking head witch herself who hangs out with Abramovich. Who's the spirit cooker. So how you gonna meet with the people you was just about to dime out? No, they're putting chips and controlling this nigga. Either that or he's so fucking stupid. Or he's so stupid. Or he's so unaware of his surroundings that it's dangerous for him. And Jesus must be on this nigga's side. Because nobody else can vouch for this nigga's level of being covered by all of the stupidness he surrounded himself. The way that he volunteers himself to go into the fucking lion's den. This nigga's a quadruple agent. He's not even a double agent. Right? He's working against himself. He's a quadruple agent. So that was the moment in the Matrix. He got renditioned. He came home for being renditioned. He ain't been the same nigga since. You feel me? Because this when he started meeting with Trump and the red hat came. And then the shit in TMZ came. Right? And then all of this shit in between. And then here we are. Right? But what I'm saying is that if he was making a rant and he knew because he got on the inside what these people was on, why would you have your children around these people, bro? Why would you have your children around these people, bro? Why do you openly hang out with Satanists? Fuck the fact that Balenciaga and the rest of these people is closet Satanists. That's one thing. But you openly hang out with Marilyn Manson, Playboy Cardi, right? Who else he said was on? Well, who else said he was on Demon Time? What's the Brooklyn nigga name? Fabio Foreign, right? Remember, all of them fucked his setup on February 22nd when he was doing the concert, right? Inaugurating his new album And them niggas fucked the ending of the concert up when they all came on stage with all of that ghoulish energy. And his daughter's a fucking goth head. His daughter's into this shit. His daughter is immersed in this world, my nigga. Lil Uzi. Right? Yeah, all of this is the Julia Fox with the blood. This nigga stays around fucking Satanists. And he worships white Jesus, which is the head Luciferian of them all. Nigga, why you think the church ain't running down on those Satanist churches and shit like that or waging war on them? Because them niggas disrobe and put another robe on and go underneath the Vatican to the next shit down the block. They worship in the same chapels. It's the same clique. It's the same clique. And we sitting around trying to make sense of this shit. Right? But again, we wouldn't be so passionate and he wouldn't be so disruptive or dangerous if he did not have messianic energy in him. So he definitely has messianic energy. But he is the Antichrist right now. Yes, he is the epitome of the Antichrist, specifically because he's a Gemini. Okay? This nigga's fighting with the white version of Kanye and the white version of Kanye. He's fighting with the Christian version and the conscious version. He's fighting with the black Hebrew and the white Jew. He's fighting with his love for, his black mama and a love for his white wife. He's fighting with whether he want to be woke or whether he want to be asleep. Because he can't say that he's woke if he's anti-woke. So what does he consider himself? What's the category that we put him in? And this is, I'm not, no shots at the Geminis. Fucks with y'all, I'm a twin. Right? I get it. I understand it. I personified, I'm living it. But y'all know, I ain't got to tell y'all about yourself. Right? The communication is always taking place and it's mercurial. So if you can't complete a sentence when you're talking to me, yeah, so and then over there. Wait, hold on. That's how Geminis talk. So imagine what y'all going in through in your mind, because Gemini is the sign of mind, it's the sign of communication, and it's the sign of Mercury, right? So what does that shit translate? It translates into mercurial, fast communications, mind, and your mental. So you always in your head having a million conversations. I'm not coming for y'all. I'm not coming for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Geminis. Yeah, y'all special. We couldn't do it without y'all. You feel me? You're a magical people. And a mystical sign. Your sign goes backwards. You the vinyl, nigga. You the zip, 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 zip. Right? Hip hop wouldn't have been possible without you niggas. You the vinyl. Feel me? Not coming for y'all. I'm just saying. What Kanye's doing to the brand of blackness, he's doing it too to the brand of Gemini. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, Gemini, and shit. But y'all like that? Yeah. Go. Manifest a hole in my, what's going on? Yeah. If y'all too young to understand what you just saw, that's the beat from a song from Just Ice Coin, going way, way back to the early days, and the black spades, cooling with my main man, Muscle Ron. Yeah, so that's just my whole thing. Again, when I started out with Four Corners is a hip-hop newspaper. So I am going to report the news hip-hop version. Like what I'm doing right now, this is me freestyling because I'm improvising and I'm remixing and I'm scratching. You know what I'm saying? And I'm freestyling. So this is This is how hip hop's supposed to be, disseminated, or hip hop should influence everything that you do. When I interviewed KRS-One, he said hip hop is not a physical thing. It's an amorphous idea, meaning it lives in the cloud somewhere. And it's not real until you make it real and bring it down and utilize it. So I could say, we made the news hip hop because we incorporated the elements in it that we consider to be hip hop. If I'm touching something, I'm touching it with a hip hop touch. I'm going to leave hip hop fingerprints on it. You know what I'm saying? So it's trust me when I tell you it's what we're working on is going to go all the way up. Unlike any other. So Balenciaga, right, represents a larger issue that is unspoken of in our society. And that larger issue is that the devil is the devil is the devil. And if you're not going to dance with the devil, you need to make contingency plans to get the fuck away from the devil. Because the devil has already traversed and measured the entire planet. Because according to scripture, if that's what you're going off, hence the fact that we would even be talking about a devil, he got here before your ass did. So he has more wisdom of this plane than you do, right? And the shit is what? If you're branded, if you're clothed with the cloth that has been consecrated by Beelzebub himself, nigga, they got you. And then, right, evidence of which you can't get rid of it even if you wanted to. You're permanently branded. Niggas ain't getting rid of no Balenciaga. You had no business paying sky high for that shit to begin with. Now, you feel compelled. Just like if something happened to Louis Vuitton. What the fuck is Black America? What is these women in Black America gonna do? Right? How they gonna step outside? What would their step in their strut look like if they had to give away or destroy or denounce or disown all a Louis? They have more allegiance to fashion brands than they do to the brand of blackness. Because that's a damaged brand and people are coming and going as they so please. This shit requires no allegiance. Remember when they used to have Black Solidarity Day? They don't even do that shit no more. Yeah. Yeah, don't let no motherfucking thing come out that Coco Chanel was wearing blackface or some shit. They're gonna unearth old photos. Y'all gonna hire detectives to prove that shit was false. Y'all gonna become online sleuths and be like, nah, we gotta crack this case. Can't be Coco. Can't be Coco. Yeah. So it gotta come out with Coco, Chanel. It gotta come out with Chanel, Louis, and Hermes at the same time. All of them gotta be put in the quagmire so we could really see where our people's allegiance is at. You feel me? We could really see who they pay allegiance to, nigga. Fuck Satan. These niggas is paying allegiance to brands, fashion houses. Right? They got shortchanged. They didn't even get through the motherfucking gates. They didn't even get to they caught them niggas. They didn't even get to Vatican City. They caught them niggas in Rome somewhere. They didn't even make it to the motherfucking the party. They didn't even make it to the party, yo. Pay attention. Yeah, of course you got ties to Nazis. You think these people fucking care? Right? You think these people care? Right? They're not doing a damn thing to Chanel and Louis. That's the deal breaker. Just like there's people in this in our culture that are uncancelable. That you can't do nothing with them, even if you wanted to. Even if they wanted to be canceled, you couldn't let go. You feel me? Even if you wanted to, you couldn't let go. What does that say? If your allegiance, like niggas is not canceling Nikes. Niggas is not canceling Chanel. Niggas is not canceling Louis. And as we seen, niggas is not canceling Gucci. And niggas is not canceling Balenciaga. Because what will it take? If it don't take this, what will it take? You want to see them fucking a child? What will it take? And you're going to write that off too. Because y'all just don't care anymore. And they've gotten us to that place. We're just to be honest with ourselves. You volunteered for the jab. You volunteered your children for the jab and nobody rioted. So don't come to me now talking about, oh, they want to put phalluses and do... Bro, they put a needle in them with poison. And pick your poison. Right? This shit's starting to sound like Squid Games, man. I might have been on too long. Yeah, I'm about to get off. Because when I start talking crazy and shit, yeah, it's just starting to sound like Squid Games. You know what I mean? And the Negro threshold for pain that comes from the European is unprecedented. You feel me? And again, not to be disrespectful, but it's like we wonder why they say, oh, black women have a stronger threshold for pain. Because they still got the Louis bags. Because they still got the Chanel bags. They looking at that. That's what they saying the threshold for pain is. They like, oh, if the women ain't fed up with this shit, guess what? It ain't going nowhere. They know that the niggas is not enough. Your threshold for pain comes through the fact that they like, damn. And the spending power just goes up. And the percentage that they spend with themselves still goes down. Yeah, their threshold for pain is unprecedented because of the shit that we did to them, right? The shit that we did to them, and shout out to Brother Rich and Dr. Be Serious, who will be on in a little while, talking about mitochondria. The shit that we did to them lives in their mitochondria. The shit that we did to their sons can be washed out of his mind. He can be jerked out of that memory. He can be washed out of that memory. Right? He can be raked out of his memory. But that woman got mitochondria. So if she's not fed up, this shit ain't changing and it ain't going nowhere. Her threshold for pain is impeccable. That's what they talking about. That's what they talking about. They like, look at her in her Louis Vuittons with her Louis on. She looks so European and cosmopolitan, right? They know when they got a nigga. They know. They take motherfucking, they taking a litmus test just like anything else. Nigga, they read analytics. They got a timeline just like you do. Yeah, they know how much niggas spent during Black Friday weekend just like you do. And they know who spent it. So while we're going through here being primed by these discussions, once again in China, they're operating a full-fledged surveillance state. Full-fledged surveillance state. You know what I'm saying? Full-fledged. Okay, let me go here with it. I see y'all putting up the Coco Chanel news. And that's, no surprises there. But it's not enough to make these women cancel that shit. Bet that. So be that as it may. You know what I'm saying? It might hang on a lot of truth, but it ain't gonna change nothing. Right? I'll get back to this another time, but this is interesting that they got beef going on right now with China and the Vatican, right? And when I watched the documentary called Vatican Girl, Pope John Paul II played an instrumental role with destroying communism with the U.S. on back channels. He was funneling money from the mob, right? How much? 200 million they had took from them? Just like they showed you in Godfather 3. Right? The Vatican was taking money from the mob, just like at the same time that Reagan was taking money from the streets, different streets organizations and things of that nature, crack cocaine and sending it to Nicaragua, to the Contras. The Pope was taking money as a Polish, as a Pole, pause. He was taking money from the mob and funneling it to Polish paramilitary forces, right, to fight communism. And collectively, he was a usurper of the Soviet regime, along with the Americans who played, the CIA, and the role that they played in destabilizing, right, Russia. So China's going at it with Russia, and China's going at it with the Vatican, and Russia's going at it with the Vatican right now too. That's another article I'll bring to y'all. But it's interesting with it because the Pope put a condemnation out about the war, but he wouldn't say his name, right? They playing politics, so he's speaking around it, but he's not speaking directly to it. And they like, you soft. Putin's like, keep my name out your mouth, nigga. Don't even talk about me. You don't even talk. Remember, they got their own Pope, right? He got his Pope over there, the Greek Orthodox one, that gave him permission and blessed the campaign for him to run down on the Ukraine. So he don't answer to this Pope. They still got beef based on the politics of communism and global politics and all of these other things that's going on that we don't get together enough to talk about. To know the who's who and the what's what. Even if it's, even if they're playing surface shenanigans, like, right? Yeah, but shit, I seen that Hunter Biden footage. I don't need no interpretation or no decoders for that. I know what the fuck that was. This nigga had his daddy in there whooping the chick. Y'all gonna act like y'all ain't see that, huh? Whooping, yeah. With a whip. And he was bucket naked. And he was whooping on this chick, huh? Uncle Joe. Uncle Joe. Sleepy. He wasn't that sleepy. He even looked sleepy doing that shit, to tell you the truth. But Uncle Joe, your president, yeah. Yeah. Wow. Full-fledged. No holds bars, no apologies. Shit, don't wait up for it. They super unapologetic about what they into. As they should be, right? What are you into? Why are you still apologizing for that shit? Yeah, this is interesting, right? Y'all, 5 cars rented by Biden's Secret Service burst into flames in Nantucket, right? That's not happenstance. They just took some Russian billionaires out the same way. They just crashed them in a helicopter. Hold on, this dude right here. Right, yeah, in perfect weather. You're going to crash in a helicopter in perfect weather. So they just burned up 5 Secret Service cars. They out in Nantucket in Massachusetts with the Bidens, right? Funny times. A lot of things going on. Right? Around the same time, when they clipped this dude, right? All of the crypto billionaires is ending up dead, right? One by one. This shit is toppling. But you have to understand, once again, there's an economic war taking place. Once they declare war on the U.S. dollar, then they really are declaring war on the ghoulish people. And the ghoulish people hit different. They are economic hitmen. Hence the fact they sat that nigga Ye down financially, the first thing that they were able to do, because that's what they do. Right? But they out here knocking off entire fucking industries. You know what I'm saying? And they're utilizing their plants to do it. So this dude unexpectedly dies in his sleep, right? What is 30 years old. Y'all keep hearing me talk about these motherfucking unexpected deaths in the sleep. You feel me? There's a lot going on, man. Right? Japanese births at a new low. Right? As the youth population shrinks and it gets older. So after World War II, right, they decimated a lot of the older generation in Japan. Japan was a youth-led generation during that time. When they went on the run that we know them for recently, when they got their act together and became a technical oasis, that was all put together by the young people. But the Japanese men don't want to have sex and procreate. They got a word for that shit, but I don't really know what it is. But yeah, they on that time, whatever that time is, they don't want ski. You know what I mean? So it ain't just happening here in America. It's happening all around the world. You know what I mean? And it's more than just saying, you know, because black folk want to wear that shit every opportunity that they get. Oh, nah, you're not the only niggas earmarked for extinction, right? You're not the only ones earmarked for extinction. There is a depopulation agenda globally. Globally. It's just not melanated people. It's global. It's global. So somebody said something earlier about Asian face tried to save swastika symbol corrupted by Hitler's regime. Okay? Did we know that this ancient symbol, right, had so many predecessing meanings in the East prior to when it was usurped by the Nazis and inverted all of their mechanisms that they utilized for power? They used the inversion. Okay, they use inversion. So the swastika is an ancient symbol that you often seen in Indus cultures, in particular. Okay, but that was an interesting article about the lengths that they're going to restore dignity back to the symbols that they hold sacred. Right, they hold their sacreds, their symbols sacred. Shout out to Secret. I see you. This article is dope, right? This is talking about toxoplasma. Again, shout out to Dr. B Serious, who's gonna be on Brother Rich tonight, right? When the nigga was saying it, I don't know if motherfuckers was in denial or not, even though I told you we got primary sources for all of this shit. You could do the research. It's all Googleable, right? This extraterrestrial parasite inhabits more than 50% of the population. It's more intelligent than you are. You niggas is not that deep. Yeah, them zombie rats. I keep telling y'all. It's Gotham City, Joker. You seeing your favorite artist pop up as the Joker, nigga. We are in those times. Go back and watch that movie. Right? A study of 26 years worth of wolf behavioral data and an analysis of the blood of 229 wolves have shown that infection with the parasite Toxoplasma gondii makes wolves 46 times more likely to become a pack leader. Right? So, not only is this shit unprecedented in its ability to move through populations, right? But it targets the alphas and it turns them niggas into the pack leaders and makes them more vicious. You feel me? So it's the same shit out here that you going up against some shit that you think is human. It might be human in form, but not in consciousness. It's being operated by a whole nother entity that's giving exactly what that shit gives. Remember, serpents and worms are from the same genus. I don't want to have a conversation. I'm telling you the fucking truth. And which one you think is older? And what you think is older, a parasite or a worm? right? But how can worms and them shits be so intelligent, right? They say that the older a thing is, you can't finesse it or freak it or so how you think you're gonna defeat Satan and he's older than all you niggas? Anyway. Cause don't they be talking about evolution and shit like that? So how come God made the smartest niggas earliest and then the dumbest niggas later? You feel me? I never really understood that. How come niggas have got progressively stupider and dumber and less civilized? Because whether you a black Jew or not, no disrespect to y'all, but y'all niggas can't show me no monuments, right? What the fuck was you building? Art and science is clear indicators of your intelligence. Not how many motherfucking other tribes you slaughtered and killed and how many you killed their babies and their animals, nigga. That's called savagery. Show me some shit that you built. Show me high civilization. Where's your mathematics? Because everything else that came before you finessed and figured this shit out without worshiping or praising a fucking God. At least not the one you talking about. Why would God allow a nigga to get a drop on him conscientiously to develop a concept of what God is and you never had a reference? How come this nigga so late in the narrative, y'all? So late. So late. The research is led by biologists Connie Meyer and Kara Cassidy. Look, man, these niggas, again, how come they be lying to us to our face and we don't put this shit together? Why? We probably don't have enough time to do the knowledge. But you're going to tell us that parasites, the older that they are, the more intelligent they are, and they can surpass human intelligence and have you doing some shit that they want you to do, right? So the older, the better. But you keep telling us that it's the younger, the better with evolution. You niggas is lying. And you get caught in your own fucking lies because nobody want to sit down and make sense of this shit. So a parasite become a worm, and a worm later on becomes a serpent. You know how old that shit has to be? You know how old that shit has to be to evolve all the way into a serpent? And then the serpent gets chastised. But nobody's looking at the parasites. So, toxoplasma, right? That's something that, you know, we need to be mindful. I'm not adding nothing on to the boogeyman list. All right? Not adding nothing on to the boogeyman list. I'm just saying that you might want to be mindful. And during this period in time, you know, some people may want to detox. Right? Some people may want to detox. Some people may want to take advantage of seasonal change. Some people may want to take advantage of hibernation. Some people may want to take advantage of the winter, right? Some people may want to renew themselves for a new year and come up with a new body, right? So I just want to let you know about toxoplasma. You know, you can take the wormwood. And again, if these worms is millions of years old, and these parasites as well, and he's just extraterrestrial. Toxoplasma did not come from here. Let me show you this, right? Toxoplasma does not come from here. And Dr. B. Serious has the detox program for that. I don't. Right? I don't. But you can send me a Cash App. But I don't got the detox. Dr. B got the formula. Right? And again, with all due respect, don't start telling me about other people that you know that got detoxes. Shout out to them. I'm telling you something that I know specifically. Right? This nigga has a whole different type of formula. Trust me when I tell you. Okay? Weigh it out first before you start telling me about these other people that you know. And once again, if the Bible was talking about wormwood, nigga, do you think that the parasites have not figured that shit out yet to create some level of immunity towards wormwood? Right? Yeah, they got to build it again. Because they couldn't destroy the pyramid. They couldn't destroy none of them monuments. They shot off some noses and shit. And that's just indisputable, whether we saying that Solomon's temple was built. What you talking about, Temple of the Mount? Dr. Be Serious. DOCTAHB Sirius. SIRIUS. Dr. Be Serious. Right? Strange meteorite that crashes into Earth contains 2 never before seen minerals. So shit comes from space on rocks, on meteorites all the time. Right? They never seen these 2 minerals before. This is some new shit from a rock that crashed here. So it's the same way that toxoplasma came here on a meteorite. It's not earthbound. It's not from this dimensional, it's not from here. Scientists unearthed the 2 new minerals inside a single 2.5 ounce sheet of rock taken from the meteorite. The 2 minerals have been named alelites after the meteorite. Yeah, I used to have this stone. I forgot. It started with an A. It came from a meteorite. Man, when I first was making gold water, when I was making an actual bottled water, I used to put, this was the magical stone, angel lighter. One of these shits I used to put in my compound because I had a crystal elixir for my waters. I would charge them with these crystals. Man, that shit was crazy. That shit was crazy, y'all. It amplified it. It 10x the actual, when I was putting gold and platinum and all that stuff in the water. These minerals were 10x it. Iridium was my secret formula. I don't even know why I'm saying that on camera. It must be the motherfucking parasites making me talk. Because I ain't supposed to tell y'all that. Anyway. Yeah, I think, giving y'all quite a good hour of power and a little bit over. But I'm working tirelessly to bring about this new media apparatus that we're putting into motion, unlike anything that's ever been seen. Shit crazy, it's off the charts, out of this world. You can donate. People asking how they can contribute and what they can do. You can send me some bread. BluePillar44, Cash App. You know what I'm saying? It'll all go to media, the things that I'm buying, the assets that I have to grab, the accounts I have to open, the tedious work that needs to be done. But we're going to get it done. It's getting done. It's damn near done. You know what I'm saying? But we coming with it. So I had watched the FIFA documentary on Netflix some time ago, and it gave it gave a lot of background information into the scandal, the corruption, and how powerful FIFA as an organization is. So FIFA, for those who don't know, that's the governing body behind the biggest sport on the planet, which is football, which in this case outside of America means soccer. So they said normally, in the construction of these stadiums, people die. Just like when they build bridges and skyscrapers and things of that nature, you write it off. You're like, somebody gonna die. But they said in the construction of the stadium in Qatar, over 400 to 500 workers died. And they'll just send their bodies back, in coffins and stuff. The parents got to come from the airport and pick they folks up. They real cold with it. They don't tell them nothing. He's like, yeah, come and pick this body up. This nigga's coming home early. So yeah, that's just crazy. This one in Qatar, I think they said they spent $400 billion. Let me see, they got a 400 to 500. Okay, $200 billion worth of stadiums, metro lines, and infrastructure. We need some workers like that. Right? I don't know if we got that budget, but we need some workers like that. If them niggas can build an entire fucking infrastructure like that in a few years, that's the type of workforce that we need to build out, our concept of this new refined civilization that we have to materialize for these babies, for these children. y'all children is off the fucking... Y'all beautiful babies that deserve it, man. I love seeing these babies. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta catch them because it's like a real it's a real thin line before they become ratchet. And then there's no, after that, you're gonna be. No, let me stop. Stop talking crazy. Yeah, I love these children. These are some beautiful babies, and I wanna be seasoned, not old. I wanna be seasoned, watching these children grow up, doing amazing things that they have contained. I could look at these little children and be like, you got a whole assignment in you. You know what I'm saying? You got a whole mission. You got magic. You got marvels. You have all this stuff that you can't wait to unfold. I can see it in you. I can see it in you. You can't wait to unfold all of this information that you came here with. You know what I mean? I just wanna see these babies grow into their divine supreme selves and maximize their existence and live up to their true potential. You feel me? That's it. The world makes them ratchet, but they grow out of it. Yeah. A lot of them are not escaping it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the walls are closing in. And if we fail to have a fervorish love for these children where we're willing to go to war to protect them, then it's no guarantee to say that they're going to have an opportunity to grow out of it, because niggerism is sticky as fuck. You know what I'm saying? It's a hard thing to shake. And these children are being, programmed and told that they need a gun and you know what I'm saying? They need to, pledge allegiance to savagery and demon time. You know what I'm saying? At the age of like 12 and 13, I hopped off the porch when I was 14. You feel me? I don't want that for my nieces and my nephews. I don't want that for them. You know what I mean? By the good grace of God himself, am I here, right? I do not take full credit for surviving the streets of New York City in my infant stages, like as a youth, being out there around the elements, not knowing, the every ways of the jungle. I came from a tropical island to a concrete jungle. And I seen just how being out of New York for like 5 years, because I think that we went to St. Croix when we was 5, probably came back. It was longer than that. Came back when we was 12, so that's 7 years. That shit changed us. So by the time I got back to Brooklyn, I got to Flatbush, that shit was a culture shock. Shit was a culture shock. And then I'm outside. Prior to that, I was living in the Bronx. I was living in Harlem. I had never lived in Brooklyn before that. So here I am, 12, 13 years old, going to public school in Brooklyn, coming from St. Croix. That shit was different, bro. I don't want that for my nieces and my nephews if I can utilize my life force to provide something different, or for my children. I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? I want to provide the promise of the shit that was sold to me. There was a blank check. Because I'm like, y'all wasn't qualified to deliver on your promise, but it's not as if we cannot do that shit ourselves. Yeah, so I started going to Clinton Hill when I was about 15. That's when I started hanging out with AA, Rashid, Clinton Hill. Clinton Hill was decent. Oh, and then my mother, no, I'm lying. She had moved to Clinton Hill as well. On Clinton and Myrtle. So I was down the block from Fort Greene. I was able to make the contrast. I was like, well, goddamn. Fort Greene was different. LG was different. Clinton and Myrtle was You know, that was nice. Clinton Hills is nice. Alright. Yeah, you gotta pay $200K child support. Okay. He got quite a few children. You know what I'm saying? And it's not what he could pay in child support. How's he gonna support those children? Not by money, right? He put those children in the crossfire, in the crosshairs. Because the Jewish people don't forget. It's a legacy play with them. They never forget. That's their thing. If you don't pay, your children will. Right? They have your children up in pornos. So, with him playing these games with these babies that he been playing, having them around these Satanists and these people who openly fuck children, and then his daughters and them being so sexualized at a young age, and his oldest, she's with the shits. She's with the shit. She's a goth head. You know, she's being primed because of her proximity to her mama. She thinks she an old ass kid. Right? He better wake the fuck up. So what? He got to pay $200K. He could not provide the support those children need, which is security. He could not provide the support that those children need, which is the cover. Even if he got it for Jesus, nigga, his wife don't got it, so it's not on them children. Right? They're surrounded by fucking Satanists, nigga, and people who can't wait to drink their blood, nigga. Who smelling all of they coming around just sniffing on them. They making dibs, nigga. They in the back motherfucking rolling dice. So what? He gotta pay some bread to protect them babies. He cannot provide the security that them babies gonna need. Cause once they get his ass out the way, it's a field day on them fucking babies. That's how them niggas play. That's how they play. Right? So once again, knowing these things, man, would you want to be part and parcel to their world? Where their level of revenge knows no borders or no boundaries? These people don't play. But it's niggas out here playing games, yo. Don't play them games that they playing. Don't play with Ye. Because he playing a game that he obviously don't understand the rules to. But shout out to Jesus for giving this nigga cover long enough where he could still grab his nuts and be like, y'all ain't kill me, because he said you didn't kill me in 7 days. He was using that Machiavelli shit, right? His 7-day theory was, my God is powerful, all strong. So I keep telling you, if they killed him, he's martyred. If they don't kill him, he's still martyred, right? So he got them stuck in a conundrum, but he got to protect them babies, right? And child support ain't gonna cut it. That's the least of his worries. He got to worry about that first child of his. You know what I'm saying? Because she ain't taking off her Balenciaga. Okay? And if they call her for an ad, so we pray for these children. Right? But God takes care of fools and babies. You feel me? If you a baby and your parent is a fool, putting you in that position where he got to take care of both of y'all, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's a conundrum. It's a fucking conundrum, you know? And parents, you need to think about that as well. You know what I'm saying? The decisions that you make are going to affect you today, and they're going to affect your children tomorrow. Right? So you got to be mindful. Pick your battles. Be a little bit wiser in war. Right? Learn how to aim to shoot. Stop shooting so wild. Because you might fuck around and a stray bullet might hit the person that you're trying to protect. Yeah, I survived the crack era. I flourished in the crack era. I didn't just survive, I strived and came alive. My name is written on a wall because of our ability to stand tall and ride the wave in the crack era looking like new money. And I never sold a piece of crack in my life. I never sold a piece of crack in my life. But I survived that shit in style. You know? I refuse to. That was some coward shit. I don't fuck with drug dealers. You know, and it was just the worst shit ever. But again, you gotta draw the line. That's why I knew that all niggas are not created equal, right? It's us and it's them. You feel me? And I used to always wonder, and I was still asked today. Yeah, it just made me very conscientious because I asked so many questions as a child, to myself mainly. And I'd be like, what type of marketing do they have on this shit? Because it was like, now we was like 98 and 99 and niggas was doing 50 years and 40 years and all types of shit. You had already seen, everybody had somebody on crack in their family. So I'm like, where do they get new crackheads from? And I still ask that question. I'm like, what was the marketing like where a nigga could be like, you see all that death and destruction? Yeah, I need me some of that. You know what I'm saying? Now we gonna hit this crack rock. The shit it's gonna hit me different. It's gonna make me wiggle different. So with that level of observation, hold on, I gotta play a tune for that. And I'm not laughing. I'm laughing to keep from crying. You feel me? I'm laughing to keep from crying because I could just never figure out how do they catch new crackheads. If you've seen, it should have been one generation and that was it. How you catching new crackheads with the dangling carrot and the carrot got worms and maggots in it and shit like that? Who's going for that? So that told me a lot. These things teach me a lot about our people. It teaches me a lot about mentality. It teaches me a lot about society. It teaches me a lot about marketing. You know what I'm saying? It teaches me a lot about marketing. It teaches me a lot about groupthink. It teaches me a lot about weak force. You know? It teaches me a lot about stress, anxiety, and depression that leads to failure. Persons giving up on themselves. You know? It just teaches me a lot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, what would inspire somebody to go behind someone and do meth? Like, yeah, I'm trying to lose my teeth and all of the fat on my face, and you know, I like when my shit looks popped. Unless you was so much of a fan of The Walking Dead, right? Because I mean, look how niggas dress up for Halloween. There's something inside of you that wants to be ghoulish. There's something inside of you that wants to come to the surface that looks like you a meth addict. That's you know, you vote with your option. You have an option to dress up as anything that you choose on this purge day. Who you want to be? Heath Ledger, the Joker. Okay, you want to be Casper the Ghost. You want to be a nigga coming out of the cemetery. Not a deity coming out of the cemetery. Not a spirit force. Not an Orisha. Right? You want to be one of the niggas, one of the extras in Thriller. Okay. Okay. Generational curses and depression making people try anything to feel better than what they've been feeling. Granted, and I would adhere to that. But why would you think that the results though is gonna be, or why are people led to think that the results are gonna be anything different than what they've been seeing? Like I could see if, you know, crack had like a 3-week grace period where you ain't start decomposing and shit like that, but it happens right away. Now meth, yeah, I understand that meth does do some things to the brain chemistry that makes people feel like Superman and shit like that, and there's a lot of need to want to feel like a Superman in a situation, like that. Delusions of grandeur, yes, that reminds me of ecstasy and shit like that. I thought it was Superman when I was on some triple stack X. I literally thought I could fly. Shut up. She hearing this shit for the first time. Trying to
What are you looking? I'm trying to see like everybody else. Trying to get the tea like everybody else, man.
So, I'm not one to judge. You feel me? I'm not one to judge. I don't got too much of a drug history, but I ain't one to judge either. You know what I'm saying? I did think I was Superman. That was so irresponsible. So yeah, thank y'all. Thank you for tapping in. You know what I'm saying, and hearing me out. I'm gonna get back to work. I can't say when I'll be back on here again, because I am arduously working overtime to finalize, you know what I'm saying, this project. You feel me? Yeah. So I just wanted to take this time out, this hour and some change or what have you, to kick it with you, to catch up with you, share some of this information that I'm observing. Of course, there's a lot more, and hopefully we get around to it. If not, we'll follow up. All right. Peace, y'all.